Hello, and welcome back to 1224 Hobbies. So today's video is actually going to be split into two parts. And in the first part, we're going to be talking about selecting a space in your home for your model railroad. This is a lot more complicated than just picking the biggest space available to put a table full of train stuff. Um, and I've learned a lot in the last couple of years, and I hope I can share that with you. So in this video, we're going to talk about selecting a space, and in the next video, we're going to talk about making the most use of that space. I hope you also keep in mind the things we spoke about last time. Last time we covered scale, and we talked about N scale, HO scale, and O scale. So obviously, the larger the scale you pick, the more space you're going to need in your home. But again, yeah, there's a lot more to it than just available space. You need to make sure it's a comfortable room or a comfortable space in your home. If it's someplace you don't want to spend time today, right now, you're probably not going to want to magically spend time in that space after you have a train stuffed in there too. So when I first got into the hobby, as I talked about in an earlier video, I was living in an apartment, and so space was limited. And I basically had two choices. I could have made a shelf layout, which is a layout that's small enough to fit on a shelf. And because it's on a shelf, it doesn't have room for a curve back, so the train can't continuously run. So instead, what you do is you move freight cars or passengers from one side of the shelf to the other. And the focus is more on building the train, switching cars to different industries. Or I could have built a continuous circle track on a 3x5 foot table out on the balcony. So the shelf layout could have fit in two different rooms inside, my computer room or the front bedroom that we weren't really using much. And the 3x5 table could only fit on the balcony. So I picked the balcony, and I think it's a common mistake that newcomers make is they want to make a bigger layout than they can. It would have been it's much better to choose a smaller layout size and finish it quickly and get that experience under your belt. And it helps you to know what you like to do in a model railroad, because a model railroad serves many different functions, as we talked earlier. Some people really enjoy building them. Some people like watching trains go. Some people enjoy switching the different industries. And it's really hard to know what you're going to like until you get into it. So it's best to just get into it. But yeah, the balcony was a bad choice. In the winter, it hit freezing temperatures, and in the summer, it was hotter than hot because it had a big glass double folding French door that opened to the outside. So it just had no climate control, and it wasn't a place you wanted to be for half of the year. The 3 months of winter and the 3 months of summer. The other problems with the balcony was the location. It was accessible from sliding glass doors on two of its walls. The one set of sliding glass doors opened to the computer room, and the other set of glass doors opened to the master bedroom. Those were the larger ones. And so like when I was building it, I had to carry construction lumber through the master bedroom and foam through the master bedroom, and got like little foam pieces all over the bed. So that was a pain. Yeah. And when it was finished, well, in my case, I never finished it, but whenever I wanted to show a guest my model railroad, I had to lead them out to the balcony, which meant I had to drag them through the computer office or through the master bedroom out to my tiny enclosed balcony that was often very, very hot or very, very cold. So again, not ideal. So the balcony did have doors on all four walls. Like I said before, two of the walls had sliding doors leading inside. One wall was the double hinged French doors that opened to the outside, and then on the last wall there was a small fire escape door. Now that door was located off to the side, towards the corner as much as possible, and it left about 5 foot of wall. So I put a 5 foot table there, 5 foot by 3 foot layout table. And unlike the first two problems, having doors on all four walls is not a deal breaker here. And I'll probably talk about it more later, but it's only a deal breaker if you can't think of a way around using that space. So because that room was only 8 foot by 8 foot, about 3 by 3 meters, the layout being against the wall was the only place for it. But if you had a larger room with doors on all the walls, An island table in the middle makes sense. You can make like an oval of track, and you can have access to all four or at least three of the four sides. It would work great. So if you have like a 10 foot by 12 foot room, and you have doors on all the sides, so you can't really put stuff around the outside walls, then an island table makes a lot of sense. But my balcony, going back to my balcony, the main problems were the location in my home and no climate control. They really were the deal breakers. And it took me moving to see that they were the problem and not the doors on all the walls or the small room. Having a larger room is nice. Having a room with continuous walls with no doors and openings is nice. But having a room that is comfortable to be in is necessary. And having a room that is easy to get things in and out of, whether that be supplies or friends, is also necessary. So in 2021, we moved to our current home. And before we moved, we already decided what rooms would be for what. And since we have young kids, we decided we'd want to sleep in an upstairs room. That way we'd be near them. And that left this downstairs master bedroom, which is the only room on the first floor that has a door. Well, the largest room on the first floor that has a door. Open to be the hobby room. So I have my wife's sewing machine here, and my train table is opposite the camera right now. However, this is like the exact opposite problem of the balcony. Is this room is super accessible. As soon as you enter the home, it's right. This door is right on the right of the entryway. That means anytime we bring home new stuff, new furniture, it comes here. Last weekend my mother-in-law gave us new mattresses, and I just had to pick them all up to make this video. Like Korean mattresses, so like thick cotton mats, and the accompanying winter blankets and stuff like that. I know I couldn't make this video yesterday because this room had mats in it. If some appliance needs repaired, it comes in here because my soldering kit is in here. So if people are coming over and the kids have all kinds of toys out in the living room, that stuff comes in here. So this room is almost too accessible. But that's not really the problem. The real problem is there's too little storage, or I should say there was too little storage in this room. Like when we moved in, we didn't really put any important furniture in here because it was going to be the hobby room. And so what we had left was a bookshelf and some random like small drawers and an old entertainment center. None of those are really great for storage. So if you're picking a room in your home that you know is on the receiving end of all your clutter, all your kids' clutter, then don't pick that room. Or be prepared to seriously rethink how you organize that room. Or if you're already organizing it as best as you can and it's not making a difference, be prepared to invest in storage solutions. Now, we did the latter, and we had a carpenter build us some custom cabinets and this clothing closet in behind me that you see here. So yeah, the location of this room is great, and the size of the room, great. Climate is not great. It's about probably a C or a D, I'd say. It's pretty uncomfortable in the summertime, and it's pretty cold in the winter. Space heater turned on 20 minutes before I come in here fixes the problem in the winter. And in the summertime, I could just open the door and put a box fan there, and it'll get the AC from the rest of the house circulating in here in about the same amount of time. I hope talking you through some of the mistakes I made helps you choose wisely what room or what place in your home you're going to use for your model train layout. I'd say the two most important factors that I learned in my personal journey were the climate and the location. All right, so that's all for today's video. In the next part of this, I will talk about things I've learned about making the best use of the space that you've selected. It's not about just cramming as much model railroad into that space as possible. The negative space around the layout is very important as well. And yeah, so we'll talk about that next time. Until then, have a great week, and see you next time.